Hey BookTube! First off, can we just ignore how big the stack is getting? I realise it's kind of like very visible in the frame, but we're just gonna pretend like it's not there. Secondly, hi, hello, welcome back to my channel. Today I have a slightly different video, kind of like a throwback to like the time when everybody used to do like BookTube tags like all the time. And I feel like it's been ages since I've done one, so today we are doing the Would You Rather book tag. So I was tagged to do this by Ash over at Books and Ashes, and I will have their channel linked in the description. And so you can go check out Ash's video for her answers as well. I feel like I actually have done a tag really similar to this one, but like way back on BookTube, and that video has been like long since privated and like delisted. But the questions for this one are actually different. So if you feel like joining me for like a fun little BookTube throwback, then please stick around and I'm going to get into the questions. So question 1 is, would you rather have a friend who loses your books or one who dog-ears them? Now first of all, if I had a friend that lost or dog-eared my books, I would not have that friend anymore. But I think kind of obvious answer is that it's preferable to have a book with like a slightly marred page than it is to have like no book at all. I feel like it's the lesser of two evils. I mean, maybe you could argue that if your friend lost a book, they would have to replace it, but like, honestly, I still can't get over the fact that my like really close friend lent my mum a copy of The Hunger Games like before it got really big, and my mum never gave back that copy, and she bought the friend another copy of a different edition that then did not match her editions. Sarah, if you're out there, I'm so sorry. I am so sorry my mum did that to you. We joke about this all the time, but like, I still feel really bad about that, so... Yeah, even if your friend like loses your book, there's no guarantee they're gonna get you like the correct edition back if they're gonna like lose it in the first place. So yeah, I think I would prefer to have it dog-eared. But honestly, this question is just why I do not lend out books, or why I buy additional duplicate copies of books to act as lending out copies, so that if they get ruined, I'm not mad about it. Or I'm a little mad at the principle of it, but like, it's fine. Question 2 is, would you rather secretly love a book that everyone hates, or secretly hate a book everyone else loves? Look, I feel like I already hate so many books that people just like really love. I feel like I'm gonna go like really big brain with this answer, and I would so much rather love a book that everyone else hates, because like, in one option I get a book that I love, and in one option I have to read a book that I hate. Obviously I'm gonna pick the option where I read a book that I love. I don't care if everyone else hates it. Like, I don't care what everyone else thinks. If I love a book, I love a book. Question 3 is, would you rather be stuck on a very long plane or a very long train ride without a book? So here's the thing, I used to go on quite a lot of very long train rides and like bus rides and things. I don't really tend to read on public transport, it's just not like a thing that I do. I think it's just because there's too many distractions. There's like stopping and starting, people getting on and off like the train or like the coach or whatever, and I kind of like to look out the window and like be in like my ADHD mind palace. I'll just daydream, like that's fine for me. But I feel like if I was on a plane, there's not really anything to look at, and there's not really anything like really changing in the cabin around you. So like, I think if I put on like some white noise to like block out other people. I haven't been on a plane since I was like literally a toddler, so like it doesn't really matter either way, but yeah, I would rather have a book on a plane and not have a book on a train. I would rather go on a long train ride with no book, because that's how I already live. Question 4 is, would you rather have dinner with your favourite author or your favourite character? So easy, favourite character. I mean, this doesn't specify book character. I'm assuming it is though, because otherwise that opens like a whole door into like anime husbandos, but like, if we're talking book characters, my official favourite book character is Kazaril from The Curse of Chalion. Now, I have to level with you, he is just like a dude. He would just come to dinner, eat dinner, make pleasant small talk, and leave. It would be the most uneventful dinner. But I would feel better for like having given him just a moment of peace, because like that man needs a break. Kazaril, I guess, is coming for tea. Question 5 is, would you rather date a character you have a crush on or your crush from real life? Now here's the thing, I don't crush on book characters, and I also don't crush on people in real life. Like there is no one IRL that I am interested in. I don't know, I don't really crush on book characters. There are eligible book characters, but like, I don't have crushes on them. Characters from like other media, yeah. I mean, I guess I'm gonna pick fictional characters just because like, there's so many more options there. Like, if you have a crush on somebody in real life, it's just a human guy, right? Like for me, it would just be like a random human dude that I would have to like meet and know, and who probably has like an office job. I mean, at least in books there are just like, I don't know, I could totally date like a wizard of some variety, or like some sort of demonic dark lord. I feel like my tastes are just anyway. I will say fictional character, but like, I have no one in mind. Not for books specifically, I have many people in mind if we like branch out into like anime, manga, TV. We're not gonna get into that, but for books, I have no bookish husbandos, I'm sorry. The next question is, would you rather have your favourite book turned into a movie or your favourite movie turned into a book? I feel like I would rather have a book turned into a film than like a film turned into a book, because there have been so many bad like film adaptations of books anyway that I feel like it doesn't really matter at this point. Like, even if it's my favourite, I can just ignore it. And I also think all my favourite books have kind of already got adaptations. Like Lord of the Rings, perfect, honestly. And even Interview with the Vampire, like the film isn't exactly perfect, but like that's a good film. Like, it's a good adaptation. I like it. I don't know, I feel like I'm kind of safe either way. What I will say is though, book adaptations of films and TV shows, always bad. I don't think I've ever seen anything that came out as a film first and then somebody was like, oh, let's cobble together a book. Because I feel like you're always desperately scrambling to expand on what was there in the film, and it kind of makes the pacing weird, and like, I feel like trying to add things in that weren't there before is a much more difficult task than starting off with a fantastic book and just having to like only cut it down to the absolute best parts or the most necessary parts and just like cutting away like all the extras and any fillers or anything. So I feel like you're much more likely to be left with a good product at the end of cutting down a book from everything good than trying to write a book and having to pad out like a film to like make it into a book. I feel like that's never a good idea, and I don't think I've ever seen it done well. Okay, question 7 is, would you rather read a book with an annoying cliffhanger or one where your favourite character dies and is killed off? Look, I don't care really one way or the other about cliffhangers. Like, I'm fine with like an open ending or an ending like where you have to do, like, that's fine to me. Like, I don't mind that, you know. But also, oh, do I not just live for angst? Do I not just feed on pain and torment of my favourite fictional characters? I will say my favourite fictional characters tend to die in everything ever anyway. Like, if I have a favourite fictional character and people are gonna die in that book, it's gonna be my favourite character. It just is. And it's because I always pick the most tragic character as my favourite. Like, not even just in books, in everything. Like, and I always know it's gonna happen because I'm like, my dude, you are so doomed by the narrative, and that is why I love them. So yeah, at this point, I feel like, honestly, just go for it. Just go for it. I mean, as someone who, like, writes anyway, I personally like killing off my characters, or the only times I tend not to like kill off my own personal favourite characters in like my own books is when there is a fate worse than death, and then I will give them that fate. So I'm gonna be controversial and I'm gonna say, kill them off. Kill off my favourite characters. Don't give me the cliffhanger ending. Let me know that they die. Let's do it. Oh, hurt me, but like in a good way. This is getting out of hand. I'm gonna move on. Question 8 is, would you rather lose the ability to read new books or the ability to reread any books you've already read? It's kind of painful because like there are a lot of books that I would like to reread. Okay, sorry about that one, my rude ass camera died. I think what I was saying was that I have so many more books to read, and especially because there are books coming out all the time, like I'm always going to have more to choose from. Continuing to read things that are new to me and just never rereading anything is a little bit tragic that like if I read something amazing I will never be able to go back and reread it, but at the same time I have like a really good memory. I mean, I can still think about it. I can still think about it in my memory, and to be honest, sometimes I go back and like I'll reread a favourite and it's never as good as the first time anyway. But there's so much that I want to read. Like, what about continuing series? Like, I can't just reread all the books that I've read and then like never continue further into the series. Like, I want to know how it ends. I want to continue with the series. I want to start new things. I want to read new releases. Like, I am fine only reading new things and never rereading anything I've already read. Question 9 is, would you rather live in a library or a bookstore? Now here's the thing. When you say library, I'm picturing like this. But I know that what this question means is it's like this, isn't it? Like, realistically. Oh, and actually, tragically, this is like a small aside. My granddad recently went to his local library and they no longer have books in the library. It's laptops only. And if you want to read a book, you have to sit at the laptop and read it on the laptop. That sounds absolutely fucking demonic. That is like my own personal hellscape. I'm sorry. I don't want to be in a library. I don't want to be in a library. I am a member of like a really nice library, to be honest, and they have some really like old manuscripts and things as well. But here's the thing, and like, not to be controversial, and I feel like maybe it's just where I live, I don't know, libraries have shit options. Their catalogues are atrocious. It's so hard for me to find a single thing to read. I'm a member of 2 libraries. And the last time I checked out a book, other than like when I did my audiobooks vlog, was it January of 2020 when I read Red Sister. That's literally it. So yeah, it's bad. It's bad. Whereas if I lived in a bookstore, like if I lived in like my local Waterstones, all the new releases available to me at all times. And like, I know you're not supposed to like read the books in the shop unless you buy them, but one, I would have like immediate like access to buy like all the prettiest new books as they came in, because like I freaking live there. And also, like, what are the Waterstones employees gonna do? Stop me from walking around the shop and, like, picking up the books and reading them? Like, bitch, I live here. You're in my house. Yeah, I'd rather live in a bookshop. All the new releases, easy access to purchasing books. I mean, not that I need that. I mean, again, if I lived in a bookshop, maybe I wouldn't need to have such a stack of books. Question number 10 is, would you rather lose your place or get a paper cut every time you read a book? Look, I don't know who is answering this question and saying they would rather get a paper cut every single time. Like, those hurt and those last a few days. If I read a book, like say I only read a book once a day, I'm gonna have 7 paper cuts at the end of the week. Excuse me? No. I don't want that. Also, personally, I'm actually really, really good at finding my place when I lose it in a book. If I've read a quotation or something, if I remember like where it is on the page and vaguely like how far into the book and like what side of the page it was on, and I can just sort of picture it. So yeah, I would much rather have to like flick back and forth to find my place than get a paper cut every single time I read. Because what if I stop and start? What if I read 5 times in a day? That's 5 paper cuts in a day. Like, I won't have hands by the end of the year. Question 11 is, would you rather have to always read in the dark or always read books with tiny text? I don't mind tiny text, and to be honest, I do read a lot in the dark. I feel like both of these are fine to me, but I'll say I would prefer to read a book with very, very small text. Either way, I'm gonna feel like a little monk, like, you know, sat at like my little monk's table, hunched over in the dark, reading like teeny tiny font, you know? And maybe that's a vibe I kind of like. And the last question in the tag, question 12, is, would you rather read by a fireplace or on the beach? 100% fireplace. 100%. Why would I pick the beach? Do I look like I go in the sun? For second of all, like, I don't want to be like sat in the sand. I don't want like my book to get like sprayed by the sea. I don't want to get sand like in the spine or anything like that. But a fireplace? 100%. That is the best place to read. So that was it. Those are my answers to the would you rather BookTube tag. Hopefully you enjoyed this as like a fun little throwback, especially to the time when I like used to do like quite a lot of tags when I first started out on BookTube. Once again, I will have Bookstore Ash's channel linked in the description. And this is the part I literally always forget this when I sit down to film. I am supposed to tag people at this point in the video, and like, first of all, I literally always forget, and like I never know who wants to be tagged in these things. So what I tend to always say is, if you are seeing this and you have not done this tag and you would like to be tagged, consider yourself tagged. I am tagging you right now. And if you do end up doing this tag because I have like blanket tagged you, I guess, feel free to like let me know or like send me the link so that like maybe we can compare answers. But yeah, hopefully you guys have enjoyed this. Let me know in the comments, I guess, if there is anything, like any answers that I gave that you like really strongly disagree with. I don't know, is anybody else gonna fight me over like any of these questions? Let me know. And if you made it this far, leave me a little ladybird emoji, because it's spring now and like I am also in like black and red. With that said, thank you guys so much for watching, and hopefully I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!